Welcome back to a random Blue Jays first Blue Jays Days. On today's episode, Toby Hernandez. Toby Hernandez was born November 30th, 1958 in Calabazo, Venezuela. Current Dodgers pitcher Brusdar Graterol was also born in Calabazo. Toby, a right-handed hitting catcher, was signed as an amateur free agent by the Blue Jays November 24th, 1978 at the age of 19. Toby would start his professional career in 1979 for the Medicine Hat Blue Jays, playing in 63 games in his first professional season. Between 1980 and 1984, Toby would make various stops in the Blue Jays minor league organization, including stops in Syracuse, Kinston, Utica, and Knoxville. Across 6 minor league seasons in the Blue Jays organization, Toby would accumulate 661 games played, 1,980 at-bats, 201 runs, 470 hits, 79 doubles, 9 triples, 19 home runs, and 187 RBIs. Toby was called up to the Toronto Blue Jays June 16, 1984, from the AAA Syracuse Chiefs when longtime Blue Jays catcher Ernie Whitt was placed on the disabled list. The 1984 Syracuse Chiefs roster was filled with future MLB players including Tony Fernandez, Kelly Gruber, Alexis Infante, Rick Leach, Fred McGriff, along with pitchers John Cerruti, the subject of our very first episode, Brian Clark, Stan Clark, Mark Eichhorn, Mike Morgan, and Ron Musselman. Toby would make his Blue Jays and Major League debut June 22, 1984 in Boston against the Red Sox, making Toby the 14,908th Major League player. On June 22, 1984, the Blue Jays were an astonishing 42-24, a .636 winning percentage. But that would only be good enough for second place in the division. They were 6.5 games back of the Detroit Tigers in the American League East. The Tigers, in 1984, started the season 35-5 and would go on to win the World Series. The Blue Jays starting lineup, Damaso Garcia at second base, Dave Collins in left, Lloyd Mosby in center, Willie Upshaw at first, Willie Aikens at DH, George Bell in right, Rance Mullinax at third, Buck Martinez at catcher, and Tony Fernandez at short. Garth Orge would also see some action in this game. The starting pitcher for the Blue Jays that day was Jim Clancy, with Brian Clark also taking the mound at Fenway Park. The Red Sox lineup that day would include 2 future Hall of Famers, Wade Boggs and Jim Rice. The starting pitcher that day was legendary Roger Clemens, who would pitch for the Blue Jays later in his career. Toby would enter the game in the top of the 8th with the Blue Jays trailing 7-1 as a pinch runner for Buck Martinez, who had just doubled. Tony Fernandez would pop out to short, and then Toby would be doubled off second when a line drive to first caught him off guard and he could not get back to the base on time. Toby would remain in the game at catcher for the bottom of the 8th and be the battery mate of Brian Clark. In the top of the 9th, the Jays went down quickly. The Blue Jays would end up losing 8-1, Major League debut over for Toby. His final batting line? Nothing. No at-bats. And in the field, also nothing. No putouts, no assists, nothing. But Toby was now a major leaguer. Toby's entire Major League career lasted just 3 games. 2 at-bats, 1 run, 1 hit. He played in a total of just 5 innings. His one and only Major League hit came June 25, 1984, off the Brewers' Bob McClure. In Blue Jays history, there have been 22 players, not including pitchers, with exactly 1 hit. Toby did it in the fewest at-bats, 2, for a career batting average of 500. Some other Blue Jays with exactly 1 hit were Elvis Martinez, Carlos Diaz, Buddy Kennedy, Jim Eppert, Buck Coates, Vinny Capra, Andy Thompson, Cam Eden, Gusuke Kato, Caleb Joseph, Dan Whitmer, Charlie Green, Luis Figueroa, Will Robertson, Pedro Sworn, Matt Stark, Gerard Dyson, Brad Glenn, Gift Ngape, Jared Saltalamacchia, and David DeLucci. Toby was returned to the AAA Syracuse Chiefs July 2, 1984, when Ernie Whitt returned from the disabled list. Toby would be recalled to Toronto once again on September 2nd when rosters expanded, along with infielders Fred Manrique and Kelly Gruber, outfielders Mitch Webster and Ron Shepard. His final major league game came on September 18, 1984, catching one inning in a 10-2 loss to the Boston Red Sox. Toby would play one more season in AAA for the Toledo Mud Hens in the Minnesota Twins organization. Toby would continue to play in the Venezuelan League for Cardenales de Lara through 1991. Toby is a very tiny piece of the Blue Jays' history, but he can call himself a major leaguer. In the next episode, we discuss the Blue Jays' debut of Kevin Pillar. Thanks for listening.
Hello, my name's Poku and I don't know what to do.